Hi, everyone. Welcome to the May 10th edition of the Microsoft 365 Pulse Roadmap, where we go over changes so you won't have to read them. This week is going to be the SharePoint special because was it last week or week before last?
I think it was last week.
Last week. They had the SharePoint conference. Used to be the SharePoint conference. Now it's the Microsoft 365 conference in Vegas. And there was a lot of stuff that came out in terms of SharePoint changes, which we're going to mention a whole lot of them in this particular call. So with that, I'm going to throw it over to my wife, Tamara, and she's got a couple things. She's got a couple things she wanted to talk about related to the conference and things that were discussed there. So with that, Tamara, go ahead and lead out.
This is a lot. SharePoint page sharing simplifies page sharing, making sharing a page just as easy as it is to share a document. So users can now, great, another way to break inheritance and mess up your site. So users can now share SharePoint pages and news posts individually without having to share the entire site, just like other Microsoft 365 applications. All the sharing settings at the site and tenant level will be respected. Then there's also an advanced editing in image web part. So the new image editor provides advanced editing capabilities such as shape, cropping, color adjusting, adding filters, and overlaying text. Then we've got a Microsoft Stream new web part. So the updated Stream web part is going to ensure that you can stream all types of content from inside your pages by supporting single and multiple videos with folders and playlists. And then we have the content pane. By the way, those first two are for everybody. The Microsoft Stream web part is just for enterprise wide, and it's supposed to roll out in June and July. And then page content pane for SharePoint pages and news. So SharePoint shines when multiple documents, videos, and images are featured together on one canvas. So Microsoft is adding a new content pane and content suggestions that makes it easier and faster than ever to build pages that feature lots of content. Now, the content pane allows you to quickly browse and add content from across your SharePoint sites with content suggestions to automatically recommend relevant content based on what you're working on. Now, that is slated for October for the enterprise. Then we have centralized organization brand management. And that empowers you to specify fonts, colors, logos, and other design elements that reflect the identity of your organization. You can reuse these branding elements across sites, and SharePoint will provide the right guardrails so you can be confident that the site owners are aligning with your branding guidelines. To me, this reminds me of the content type publishing hub. This is like a brand publishing hub. So that's rolling out in December of this year. So things very far out here. Co-authoring on SharePoint pages and news, that's rolling out in March of 2024 for the enterprise, but is not planned so far for GCC, GCC High, or the DoD. Oh, there's just so much. Tom, why don't you take a couple?
I was going to say, at the rate you're going, when you're finished, I'm going to go, okay, and now on to rolling out.
Yeah, why don't you go with some?
Pretty much all the yellowed stuff I have are things that you've talked about already.
Okay.
But they're all really cool things, which I would have talked about it if you hadn't. So let me catch up with where you're at. This one's one I'm really looking forward to in SharePoint, news in Outlook. So with the new integration of SharePoint News into Outlook, news authors can preview and send full news posts as emails to their readers' inbox. To help others get started, we're also adding 6 templates designed to look great in Outlook and SharePoint. Finally, with our unified page analytics, this is even nicer, authors will be able to see their total page reads across Outlook and SharePoint as a single number. So I do tips. I've got the external site, which is 1 Minute Office Magic, but I also publish the same things internally as something we call Spark One. And I used to be able to send out the entire content of the page in a single email so they could look at the email. And of course, what do? They stick it in a folder and save it instead of going to the site and looking at it. But that was normal. Well, when we went to SharePoint Online, with modern pages, we lost that ability and there was no way to send the page content in an email. It's just like we do the page newsletter, select the items. It would give you like 4 or 5 lines, but you'd have to go to where it's at. I will be using this on day one when it comes out, and it will be a Spark One tip. And I will send a Spark One tip talking about how I just did what I did and that they're reading right at that moment. So that's pretty cool. We did talk about page sharing. SharePoint video pages create video-centric page content like highlighting meeting content or executive messages with the new video page templates, presenting them online, playable, and beautiful. These templates are available in both SharePoint and Stream, making it easy to showcase video with a customized brand page experience from either application. With all the things that they're doing to get you out of Stream Classic and into Stream on SharePoint and OneDrive, this is going to be really important to get those kind of pages that you want to experience. SharePoint, new SharePoint Start. The new Start experience aims to inspire content creators to use their platform. Okay. By emphasizing a user-friendly approach that minimizes clicks, it's now easier to create websites, pages, news, and internet content. Creators can return to the Start Experience Hub to refine drafts, review past work, and monitor engagement metrics. So I think that's a good thing. You talked about the content, you talked about the image web part, centrally managing branding, and then there was Copilot. Everything was Copilot. The big thing was AI and Copilot,
Copilot
and
had a
everything.
Copilot.
Yeah. So Copilot is basically Microsoft's branding of the whole artificial intelligence, kind of bringing the whole chat GPT type experience into the various parts of Microsoft 365. And of course, one of those big ones would be SharePoint. So Copilot in SharePoint combines the power of large language models, also known as LLMs, your data in the Microsoft Graph, and best practices to create engaging web content. Use a brief prompt to generate custom sites and pages with content hierarchy, design, and sample contents that aligns with user needs, and all within our existing commitments to data security and privacy in the enterprise. So I think one of the demos was like, hey, I've got this PowerPoint slide, and I really want to create a site that kind of looks and feels and is based on this particular PowerPoint. And it basically goes out there and does it for you, which is really cool. And the fact that this is all done within the Microsoft environment, it's not going out and sharing company privileged information
Secrets,
that's going to be used to, model other things that are going on that are not Microsoft related. That's going to be really important because a lot of people are going to go, well, how can I trust that my data is not going anywhere? Well, your data is not going anywhere in Microsoft 365. It's not going to be going anywhere in Copilot. It's going to stay within. So that's a cool thing. Also, SharePoint pages, try that again, design ideas. By integrating with the MSFT Designer service, we can now offer authors beautiful ways to improve the look and feel of their SharePoint pages. This is done through tailored section level design suggestions. I think this is awesome because my design skills are less than wonderful. To me, colors are black and white and gray. Those are three very valid colors. So this is going to enable you, much like you can use Designer to get better PowerPoint slides or to improve your look of Word documents. You're going to be able to do that now with SharePoint Pages, which I think is really interesting. Looking forward to that one, but I'll be waiting until January of 2024 to see that one. So I'm not going to get my hopes up really high. And then I think the very last one I'm going to mention, and because we're sticking with the theme, SharePoint, change history in SharePoint Admin Center. So this will
I'm so
create,
excited about this.
yeah, this will create and download change history reports in the Admin Center to review SharePoint site property changes made within the last 180 days. Can't tell you how many times you go to a site and somebody goes, my site changed. What'd you do? Nothing. Well, you had to have done something. No, I didn't do anything. Well, did you change this? Maybe. Well, now you're going to be able to go out and have a much better idea of, hey, well, I showed that you did X on this date, which would have caused what you're seeing here.
Mm-hmm.
Really critical, will really help us be able to help troubleshoot site issues that crop up unexpectedly. I don't know why that happened. Now you're going to know. So I really like that one. That's supposed to be out in May, so I don't have to hold my breath too long for that one. Um, I think that's where I'm going to stop mine at. Did you want to cover any additional ones out there?
Yeah, I also wanted to talk about where to go. A new forms experience to collect information
Oh,
for
yeah.
lists.
Yeah.
So Microsoft is making it easier to collect information with an updated form experience for Microsoft lists. So forms look clean and easy to design,
Clean.
be easily shared, and respondents are able to fill them out on any device. And form responses appear immediately in your list after the recipient clicks the save button or the submit button. And that's rolling out in October for enterprise, but no joy for the government clouds yet.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this because right now, if you say, hey, default SharePoint list form, hit the pane running down the right side of your screen. And quite honestly, it's rather ugly and there's not a whole lot you can do with it. It's basically label, field,
Mm-hmm.
label, field, label, field. This is going to give you something that like pops up in the middle of your screen, much like something, oh, say Microsoft's form like. And you've got like a title on the top and you have a logo. I don't know how much verbiage it's going to let you to put in there that's not particularly tied to like a field or a field description or something, but it's going to make for a much more pleasant experience. And I think it's going to take some of the um, need to have to say, well, I want to do this in Microsoft Forms because it's pretty, but then I have to write a workflow that takes Forms information and converts it to a SharePoint list. And if the person who owned the forms goes away, then everything breaks and all hell breaks loose and it's nasty. So I think this is going to be much better and much more straightforward because if you want to get the data in SharePoint to begin with, why don't you just use the native form experience that's in SharePoint? So looking forward to that one a lot.
Mm-hmm. And then one other one that I wanted to mention was the sharing experience manage access settings. So Microsoft is optimizing the unified file sharing experience OneDrive delivers across Microsoft 365. They've rebuilt the sharing dialog so it's less cluttered and simpler to use. I could see improvements in there. Microsoft also improved the copy link experience so you get a clear on-screen confirmation that the link has been copied. That's so great because I clicked that copy
Copy,
button
copy,
like
copy, copy,
18
copy, copy,
times.
copy.
And the confirmation self-demisses, saving you a click. Now that's rolling out to everybody in June of this year. So that's right around the corner.
Very cool.
What
Well,
else you got, Tom?
in development, I don't have anything. I'll move on to rolling out.
Hang
If you're
on, let
okay
me
with
check
that.
here.
Okay.
Do. Because I was working from two different lists
I was
earlier.
going to say.
Oh, Microsoft Project, goals and project for the web.
I
So
wondered if you'd
goals
find
and
that one.
project allows you to define a set of objectives that your project is targeting, link these goals to tasks, and then divine, like you've got that stick that goes like this, the dowsing stick. Yep. Define goal properties such as priority and status. And then new Outlook for Windows ICS support. So this is when you like download a calendar invite and you save it. ICS is the file format that holds event and calendar information and enables users to share that information through email. With full ICS support in the new Outlook for Windows, users will be able to view local ICS files and import them into their calendars. Now, this mimics the experience currently available with the classic Outlook for Windows.
Cool.
All right, go ahead, sir.
Okay, we're going to roll over to rolling out, of which there are a whopping two, count them, entries out here. So this will be really fast. I'm going to take the one that Tamara would not talk about, just because we both should have something to talk about here. Microsoft Defender for Office 365, end users can report from shared delegate mailbox. So end users can report messages from online shared delegate mailboxes using inbuilt, wow, that's weird. I'd say built-in report buttons in Outlook on the web. That's due in May. It's rolling out and it looks like it's hitting everyone. You can have the other one.
All right, Microsoft Graph SharePoint Pages API. New Graph API to create and manage SharePoint pages and news posts. That's rolling out in July for everybody.
Like you're going to be able to do some more automation when it comes to creating pages or doing things with them once they are out there. So that's
That'd
kind
be
of awesome.
great.
Now we go into launch. Again, we only have 3 here. So I'm going to mention one and leave her to choose one of the other 2. And I'm going to take this one just because I have no idea what it is, but I think it is so funny because it takes me back to Captain Kangaroo days. Microsoft Teams, Blue Jean meetings, join in Teams room on window. Microsoft Teams room customers can join Blue Jean meetings from Team Rooms devices on Windows. See more information for instruction on third-party service interoperability. I do not know what Blue Jean team meetings are, but I would so want to join one if I had an opportunity to.
I looked it up. It's a third-party application.
Okay. Has nothing to do with Captain Kangaroo. Oh, that was Green Jeans.
That was
wasn't
Mr.
Blue
Green
Jeans.
Jeans.
Okay, never mind. I don't want to be part of it now.
Okay.
And I'm 62. I should have known that. I should have known that.
And then Microsoft Viva granularity in Viva goals permissions, new tenant IT admin role. So this is introducing additional admin role with tenant level IT admin who has the ability to administer Viva goals, enable integrations, and other things. This is coming out in June to the enterprise, not to the fabulous and talented government tenants.
And there's one more out there that I'll just throw out there. Microsoft Purview Compliance Portal, data loss prevention, extend DLP controls to Firefox browsers. Apparently, up to this date, you've not been able to extend that DLP control to Firefox browsers. Now you're going to be able to. Go Firefox. We've got 2 cancellations. One of them is being postponed indefinitely, and that's the Microsoft Search, Azure Cognitive Search results in Microsoft Search. So apparently, for whatever reason, they're not going to proceed on this one, and they may or may not come back to it. They don't have any real lead as to what that might be there. And then the other one was Microsoft Teams Collaborative Notes. So this is something that was mentioned earlier with collaborative notes stuff. Or no, I was on another call right before this. They talked about collaborative notes. This one was updated on April 20th, and they will not be rolling this feature out to customers in GCC at this time. We will communicate via Message Center when we are ready to proceed. Thank you for your patience. So for the GCC people, sorry about that. Hate to burst your bubble on that one. To the worldwide people, yeah, you're still getting it. So it'll be out in June. If you're in TOD or GCC high, you weren't even in the discussion
Do
on
not
this
hold
one.
your breath. No.
So with that, that pretty much covers all the news that's fit to print, cover, and joke about in this particular week's session. We shall go ahead and do this again. Maybe next week we'll have 4 of us instead of just 2 of us. But
What?
other than that, you get the Tam Tom show.
All right. Thanks so much.
Have a good one, everyone.
Bye.